Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Skillet. In this video, I'm back with an update on Baked Beans Reloaded. So as I told you guys in my last video, this is a brand new DeFi passive income project that's just recently launched. It pays up to 8% daily returns and completely passive income in the form of BNB rewards. And it's actually a relaunch of the legendary original Baked Beans project. This is the real deal from the actual OG Baked Beans team. And obviously Baked Beans was one of the biggest and most successful projects in all of DeFi from back in 2021, and now they're back with Baked Beans Reloaded. They've made some fantastic upgrades to the original model, including some clever sustainability features and anti-whale mechanisms, and of course I've covered all of that in detail in my last video, which was a full review and tutorial on this project. So if you haven't already seen that, definitely check it out. I'll leave a card above and a link to that video down below in the description. Now in my last video, I made a live deposit and bought my first beans, and since then I've been rebaking like crazy. And of course, rebaking means compounding. So I've been compounding those earnings and my bean count keeps growing and growing, which of course means my daily earnings are constantly growing as well. And that's the beauty of compounding. It's an incredibly powerful thing, and we're going to talk more about that in just a moment because it's very important and it can make you an insane amount of money over time if you do it right. But guys, first I've just got to take a second to acknowledge how insanely fast this project is growing. I mean, I've got to say, I'm actually kind of shocked at the sheer amount of excitement around this project in the DeFi space. So not only is the TVL growing at a mind-numbing pace, I mean, it smashed $1 million within just a few days, but I can also tell just from looking at my YouTube analytics on my last video and from all the messages and comments and people asking about it, etc., it's clear that people are very, very interested in this project. And you know, I probably shouldn't be surprised. I mean, I knew it would be a big hit when I first saw that it was from the original Baked Beans team, because that's actually a big deal. I mean, of course, the first Baked Beans was enormous. It was one of the most copied projects in all of DeFi. There have been so many countless forks that have come out over the years where people saw the success of the original project and then various developers would try to essentially copy their model. But those forks were never quite the real thing. They weren't from the original team, so they didn't have all those same elements in place, not to mention the name recognition, the influence and reach in the space like the original devs do, and they didn't have the same business and marketing acumen or just the general project management savvy that's necessary to properly run a project like this at that kind of scale. Because remember, the first Baked Beans lasted for over a year and a half and it got up to a $14 million TVL, all while paying out up to 8% daily returns in passive income every single day. It's absolutely crazy. And so yeah, this team really knows their stuff. They know what they're doing, and because this project is from the real team, I knew it was going to be popular. But not only has Baked Beans Reloaded shot up to over $1 million in the TVL just within the first few days, and in fact it's actually now already over 2100 BNB, as you can see right here. But the team are only just getting started. They're coming out with insanely bullish news pretty much every day. Okay, they've got all kinds of exciting things coming down the pike. They've got some big press releases coming, some articles that are about to launch on Cointelegraph, Binance, Yahoo Finance, and other huge publications in the crypto space. They've also just officially launched their merch store. It is live now, and I'm going to show you that in just a second because it's pretty darn cool. Plus, they've also just introduced a new coin flip game onto the dashboard where you can win BNB prizes directly when you're not busy rebaking or eating beans. Okay, they've just announced a new contest as well and a lot more, and we're going to check all that out right here in this video. So guys, make sure you stick around to the very end because I'm going to show you all the latest happenings. We'll check out my results and see how my investment is growing. We're going to talk about how to maximize your earnings with this project. And of course, after watching this video, if you want to jump in on Baked Beans Reloaded yourself, I've got the link down below in the description where you can get started. But first, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, welcome to Crypto Skillet, where we talk about all things crypto and I share the latest and greatest DeFi projects and ways to make money in the crypto space. So if that's your cup of tea, then go ahead and leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel. And do keep in mind that none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an investor sharing my thoughts, experiences, and opinions. So always do your own research and never invest more than you're willing to lose into any crypto project. And now with that said, let's get into it. All right, so here we are at the Baked Beans Reloaded website. This is my dashboard. And as you guys saw in my last video, when I made my first deposit, I put in about $500 and I got about 120 beans. Now, as I explained in that last video, you have 3 basic functions here. So you can bake beans, which means depositing BNB. And then when you do that, in return for your BNB, you receive a certain amount of beans. And those beans are what produce passive income for you every single day. And that shows up down here under rewards. Okay, so you get these rewards in the form of more BNB, which is equivalent to a certain amount of beans. And the value of those beans does fluctuate with the TVL. And so that's why it's so beneficial to get in early, because as the TVL continues to grow, the value of each bean grows as well, guys. And I can't emphasize enough how important that is. Okay, so for example, if you put in $1,000, whatever amount of beans you get for that $1,000 is going to increase in lockstep with the TVL. Now remember that the original baked beans got up as high as $14 million in the TVL. Okay, now this project is still brand new, guys, and it's already hit over 1 million in the TVL. So if it gets up to the last project's all-time high of 14 million, that would be a 14x from here. Okay, so even if you didn't get any further beans, if you just stuck with the same amount of beans that you got for $1,000, that would put the value of your beans at $14,000, which would mean you would be earning that 8% variable return every single day on the value of $14,000, which is absolutely crazy. Okay, and that doesn't even account for all those extra beans that you earn by rebaking. And so it's kind of like this double whammy here, where not only is there tremendous value for growth just with the TVL alone, but every time you rebake, you are compounding your earnings. Okay, so you're essentially taking your earned rewards and using them to buy even more beans. And of course, the more beans you have, the more income you earn every day. So it becomes like a snowball effect over time. Okay, now as I told you guys, I've been compounding like crazy. So I started out with about 120 beans. I've already got now 198 beans, as you see right here. And I've got some rewards. I've got about 14 beans worth of rewards. So that's about 0.06983 BNB. So I'm gonna go ahead and rebake and compound once more. Okay, so I'm just gonna click rebake and then confirm in my MetaMask. And there we go. Now I have 212 beans. Okay, so I've taken those rewards and used them to buy even more beans, which is going to increase the rate at which I'm earning beans. Okay, now as I explained in the last video, there is a 60-minute cooldown timer. So if you want, you could come in and compound once per hour. Now they do have a recommended strategy. They recommend the 6-to-1 strategy, which means that you compound for 6 days in a row and then eat beans, which means to withdraw to your wallet on the 7th day. And then you just rinse and repeat that cycle. Now, of course, you don't have to do that. That is kind of the optimal strategy, or the most recommended and tried and true strategy, but it is totally up to you. That is one good thing about this project. It does offer you the flexibility to play it as you see fit. So if you're more interested in getting as much rewards as possible in the short term, you could eat beans more often and rebake less often. Whereas if you're more interested in playing the long game and earning the maximum amount of money over time, then you'll probably want to rebake more often. And that's where that 6-to-1 strategy comes into play. Now, of course, you don't just have to compound once per day for 6 days. Okay, if you're like me, you're going to be compounding multiple times per day, because again, every time you compound, you are increasing your bean count, and that increases the rate at which your rewards will grow. But again, it is totally up to you. Now, one other thing regarding rebaking that I want to address here, because I've had a couple of questions about this. So once this cooldown timer reaches 0, some people have tried to rebake and they find that it's still blanked out and they're wondering what's going on. So if that happens to you, that just means that the amount of your rewards has not yet reached the equivalent of 1 bean yet. So if you're someone who only has a very small amount invested, it might take a little bit longer than 60 minutes for the value of your rewards to reach 1 bean. Okay, so that's all that is. You just have to wait until this reaches at least 1 bean, and then at that point, you'll be able to rebake. Okay, or of course, you could just increase your principal amount by baking more beans. But again, guys, it's up to you. There's no minimum buy amount. There is a maximum buy amount, however, as I explained in the last video. That's one of their anti-whale mechanisms. The most that you can buy is 15% of the TVL at a time. And that's just to stop big whales from coming in and controlling a large amount of the TVL. But again, guys, if you haven't seen my first video, definitely go check that out, because I cover all the ins and outs of the new features of this project. But suffice to say, I'm extremely bullish on this. It's going really well for me. My bean count is growing incredibly quickly, and I do intend to continue compounding like crazy. And of course, I will be withdrawing or using the eat beans feature occasionally, probably somewhere around that 6-to-1 method. But I really do believe in the longer term potential of a project like this. So I'm not playing this one like a short-term money grab. I'm really trying to maximize my overall earnings in the longer term. Okay, now I've already discussed some of the reasons I am so bullish about this. And again, all you have to do is just look at what the team are doing here. So I mentioned there's a lot of great news coming out about Baked Beans Reloaded. This is right here on their X page. So they posted this one yesterday. This is regarding their new press releases that are coming out. So you see they have a write-up coming out on Cointelegraph.com as well as on Binance. And they said that would be coming within the next 48 hours, and that was yesterday, so it should be about 24 hours from now or less. And this publication will also go out across 250 plus media outlets, including Yahoo Finance, Google, Benzinga, and many, many more. Now, they've also announced on their X page that their new merch store is live. And so on the dashboard, if you come down to the bottom and click where it says merch, that takes you right here to their merch store. They've got a ton of different kinds of merch. They've got short sleeve shirts, they've got tumblers, key rings, pillows, they've got socks, mouse pads, flip-flops, notebooks, they've got hats, they've got sandals, even a dog collar, they've got hoodies, all kinds of stuff on here. So if you are a fan of Baked Beans Reloaded, you can come here and pick up some merch. Not only is it cool looking swag, but it also helps to represent the project out in the real world. And of course, that helps spread the word, which is good for everybody in the community. Now, another exciting thing that they announced is their new coin flip game that they have introduced. And so right here on the dashboard, if you scroll down, you can see it right here where it says show coin flip. And this is what the coin flip game looks like. So it shows you your max wager right now. It's 0.8297 BNB. And this does have a 50-50 win chance with a 1.95x payout. Okay, so you can enter an amount of BNB that you want to wager and choose heads or tails. And then of course you can flip the coin and then it will show you your winnings right here, and you can claim your winnings with the claim winnings button. So pretty cool that they're offering this feature, just yet another way to have a chance to win some more BNB when you're not busy rebaking. And of course that's not all. I also mentioned that they have announced a new competition. So they're calling this the Big Bake Competition, and this does have a grand prize of 5 BNB. So that's pretty incredible. Plus they have 2 bonus half BNB prizes for 2 random bakes from the community. So definitely make sure you're a part of their Telegram because they have more details about that over there. Okay, so obviously a lot of really cool stuff happening, a lot of great developments. It's always great when you see a project continue to do new things to keep growing the project. And that's of course something that this team is well known for. Again, just look at their last project and how incredibly long-lived that one was. They're obviously masters of this kind of thing. They really know how to keep it going, how to keep people excited, and how to keep it growing. And so as I mentioned before, just like with most investments, the people who get in the earliest generally do the best. They usually get the best returns. And so guys, I really think this is one of those rare opportunities to get in early on a project that's going to be absolutely huge. So if you're not already in this one, you can definitely check it out. I've got the link down below. I'm certainly glad I'm in as early as I am, and I probably will continue to add to my holdings on this one. Now again, as this TVL continues to grow, so too do the value of all your beans. And of course, the amount of beans that you hold continues to grow the more that you rebake, as I've already explained. So there's absolutely insane potential for just crazy returns with a project like this, especially if you're in this early. Okay, now it is set up to be beneficial for everyone, even if you get in later. Like even people who get in months down the road can still get some really nice returns. And that is because of those variable returns. They do fluctuate with the rising and falling of the TVL. And again, I've already explained that in a prior video as well. But again, just compared to their previous project, this is still very small. I know it seems like it's already enormous because it's already over a $1 million TVL, but compared to where this thing could go, I really don't think that's all that big yet. So in other words, I think we're still very, very early and there's huge potential for continued growth. Okay, it's kind of like buying an altcoin or something really, really early before it really takes off. Okay, as the value of that altcoin grows, so does the value of your holdings. So it's not exactly a perfect analogy, but it's kind of like like that, okay? So anyway, that's just my thoughts about it. I didn't mean to make this video so long, just basically wanted to give you a quick update. But hey, I guess I've got a lot to say about this one. So anyway, guys, I'll go ahead and cut it here. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you enjoy hearing about these new and upcoming DeFi projects and ways to make money in the crypto space, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on a future video. Also, make sure you're following me over on Twitter, or X as it's now called, and join my Telegram group as well so you can stay connected. And I've got links for both of those down in the description below as well. Alright guys, that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.